What up is Marcus with Dynasty Football Dads, and we're going to be talking Derrick Henry and his foot injury. We have the details of the foot injury, what he plans to do, how long he's going to be out for, and what to do in replacements, especially in Dynasty. In redraft, that's super hard to do. I mean, you're not going to get any type of replacement out of Derrick Henry if you're in redraft. Let's just put it honestly. I mean, Jeremy McNichols, you're like, it's not going to happen. Adrian Peterson might sign, like they may trade somebody. It's just going to be, unfortunately, a sad situation for the Titans. But let's just go through Dynasty, what we believe Henry's left value is. What do we do if we're a contender? What do we do if we're in basically a rebuilder? So let's just get with the Derrick Henry news first. And the Derrick Henry news first is 6 to 10 weeks by Ian Rappaport, or surgery on his fifth broken metatarsal. So we have these little toe bones, and he broke a metatarsal bone. And so the fifth one, that means you're on the lateral, the outside aspect of your foot. And that's a very common, actually, bone to break. It would be basically like breaking a wrist bone, but on the outside of your wrist. It's kind of where, I don't know if you want me to put my foot, like right into here. So fifth metatarsal bone. And so it's not a Jones fracture. We've heard the Jones fracture. That is something that Travis Etienne did. It's between the second and third metatarsals. I'm trying to think back by my sports anatomy here. So I believe that's a Jones fracture, different fracture, a little bit more long-term fracture, and it usually takes about a year to recover. This one, 6 to 10 weeks is the estimated timeline. So let's just say 8 weeks. We are at pretty much week 8. So it's like, what do we do? I mean, week 8 going into week 9 here, it's like we have about half. I mean, that puts him pretty much at the end of the season. Yes, we get one lucky week extra for potentially a return of Derrick Henry, but he's also a big guy too. He's not necessarily light on his feet. He's a big guy, and so that's gonna be a lot of pressure on his feet. So I would just plan on, if you have him, not be able to have him is pretty much the plan. So you need to find a 1-year stopgap. Who are these guys that you can go after and try to finagle away from their owners? And I'm looking at teams that are basically have 1 win, 2 wins, or 3 wins and just are in a tough division, or teams that basically look like they're going to be in the rebuild territory. And I'm hoping that they have Fournette, Cordell Patterson's. Like, these are the type of running backs that I'm looking for. And trying to get them for a second, 2 seconds is going to be where I'm going to try to put try to get the value at. It may cost you a first in some situation. It just may. And so you have to debate how badly and how much depth you have to buy a Cordell Patterson for what you hope to be a contending late first. And so if I bought Cordell Patterson, I would want Cordell Patterson plus something for a first. But at this point, it is the value that running backs are going for right now. Even in all my dynasty leagues right now, it's like if you need it to, I mean, like I had Fournette, I traded him away, I got Jalen Waddle basically in the situation. And so you either have to have a asset that is worth kind of a late first, or have a late first on hand for these situations. And there's other pieces always involved too. And so I've even seen trades like Leonard Fournette plus a third for plus a second for Dobbins and a third. I think Dobbins is easily going to be more long-term beneficial. But even if you had if you're looking at Patterson and you're looking at Fournette, these running backs are not running backs that are in the Etienne, Dobbins, even Javonte Williams. They're not into that category. But those running backs don't help you as much right now. Javonte may in 4 weeks, especially if Melvin Gordon gets moved. I don't think that's going to happen. But that is a popular just suspicion by some of these just random community members, and think, hey, Melvin Gordon, he's not happy in Denver. He could go to, I mean, that would be kind of a nice little, I mean, that would be good for both Javonte and Melvin Gordon. That'd be like best of both worlds. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think more of like an Adrian Peterson's going to be there, or it could be like a Tevin Coleman, and we're just like, that wasn't nice. And so what I believe is this is the time to start trying to get those running backs and just trying to throw some offers out there. Don't give up everything. I have Dobbins in a league, and I right now I don't need a running back, but I'm also looking for more wide receiver help. So this is the time to start looking at these rebuilding teams and say, hey, are you gonna this is the time, hey, go and rebuild. And if you're a team that's kind of teetering and you feel like, man, this injuries are gonna hurt me or whatever, this is a time that you can get really, really good value on players. If you have Patterson in 2 weeks or a week or 3 weeks, he could get hurt. That is in the realm of possibilities. Or Mike Davis takes over or something randomly. I don't think that's going to happen. Or Fournette gets hurt. Or Ronald Jones starts showing a little bit more into snap percentages, which is actually happening. And so when you start seeing these things, or Bernard gets a touchdown, it's these are the guys that you need to start trading away because they're limited value. They're going to have value for the 2021 season, but they're not going to have value in 2022 as much, probably in 2023. So you need to get rid of them now. And so what do we do with Derrick Henry is the big question, because he's 27, going to be about 28 when he returns. I mean, that's he's born in January. And so this is just concerning in general because the fact that I was completely wrong on Derrick Henry. I was completely wrong on Derrick Henry for the fact that I traded him away, not for pennies on the dollar, but I traded him away for basically Mixon in the late first. Because I liked Mixon in the late first better. Henry ends up becoming somebody that is just destroying through the league last year, and then this year he's looked amazing, but he's also getting to that age where things start to drop off. And I thought this year would be a year where his production would drop off, and it hasn't. He's been the MVP of fantasy in the league. I mean, he's averaging 24 points per game, but that was with this poor outing of last week. I mean, so you're talking high 20s. I mean, you're talking CMC levels, potentially even higher than CMC levels of fantasy production. I would put this point as a time to trade him away, as they have the 6 to 10. And I would go, especially if I'm at any point. This is a point where I say, hey, unfortunately, you're going to have to take a dip because of the injury. So if it's too big of a dip in the value, then don't do it. But say, hey, 6 weeks, he could be back. And if 6 weeks he's back, that's right in time for playoffs. And I don't think that it'll be 6 weeks. I think it'll be probably 8 weeks, and you're looking at maybe a week left of the season. But if you're a team that is 5-2, 6-2, 7-1, you're going to be very tempted at these situations, and you're going to be very tempted to have Derrick Henry for that last week. And I just would not plan on having him for the rest of the 2021 season. The initial reports that he was going to be out for the 2021 season. You have a guy that's not going to be playing for half a year and then come back on a foot injury, a broken foot. That is just not the best idea in my opinion. I mean, so I think Derrick Henry, you can try to trade him away for pieces now. Put your Derrick Henry trade offers and trade thoughts below. Right now, I mean, I'm putting Derrick Henry at if I want to trade him, which I don't have him in any leagues because I've pretty much traded him away over the last 18 months. I want still top 10 running back value. That's what I want. So I would Derrick Henry for Najee straight up. I would take Najee. I want Najee, or Derrick Henry for DeAndre Swift. I'm taking Swift. Now these trades might be a ton more difficult now that he is hurt. So you just have to kind of debate and see what offers are out there or what teams are out there that are willing to make that push and move. Again, with the idea around it that he may be back for fantasy playoffs. I don't think he will, but if it is, it's going to be championship week. And do you trust? Yeah, you probably trust Derrick Henry. You probably trust him to at least get 10 points. But again, that is a huge risk. A very, very, very big risk. So also Tennessee backfield, it's a mess. I don't know what to believe at this point. I think they will trade for somebody and sign for somebody. Are the two things I think they will do. So trade for somebody. Who knows who that will be? Your guess is as good as mine at this point. I mean, there's no rumors right now. And I think they will sign somebody, which could be the Adrian Peterson. I don't even know who left. I don't even know who else is left. You might even see an Adrian Peterson, David Johnson, McNichols backfield. It just might be a mess. And so right now, this is going to be Tannehill trying to run the offense and trying to keep Tennessee in the playoff hunt. It might be more A.J. Brown. It might be more Julio when he comes back. It might be some more, I can't even think of his name. Westbrook. He's got a long name. It might be more him. It might be really more of him. It might be more Firster. It might be a mess. You might get some guys in there that, again, some more deeper adds to there. I think he's just going to be passing more. And so I think Tennessee offense is definitely going to take a dip, pretty much besides Tannehill and AJ, I almost said AJ Green. I'm AJ Brown. So let me know trade offers, trade thoughts of around this Derrick Henry injury. All right. Peace out.